Awesome. It looks like we're live. Welcome and welcome back to the enolve podcast. You know that we talk about solving the problems that hold you back from achieving your goals on our podcast here. And, when we talk about problem solving, often people can think that maybe problem solving is more of a science, right? Like a step-by-step process. But when we talk about becoming entrepreneurs and all of that, well, we have to have step-by-step processes. Sometimes we might want to engage in art. At least that's what Ziza is telling us. Ziza is here to explain us today how music supposedly can help you become a better entrepreneur and business owner. Ziza, how did you think to connect these two unrelated things? I mean, if I want to listen to music, enjoy myself, I do that. If I do business, they're like totally separate topics. How did you think to pull them together?
First of all, I would like to say that I'm happy to be here. And you can imagine that for me, it's quite obvious to put music and entrepreneurship together since my main occupation is a musician. But I've noticed its benefits not only in my case, and I've seen how much it helped me in my work as a business owner, but I also use it in the processes of my work with my clients. So, after working with them a little bit and experimenting all sorts of creative approaches, I've discovered that it's actually beneficial to people that are not necessarily musicians, and not just in terms of listening to music when you work. That's also great because it improves your mood as well. But in terms of actually doing the music, not just going to karaoke, maybe that one is fun, but actually doing the music, working on your voice, playing an instrument if you enjoy doing that one, or working with all sorts of types of singing, even if you're not a singer. I know this one is extremely beneficial for everyone, and I always advise singing. You can sing in the shower, you can sing all alone in your bedroom if you don't want anyone to hear you. You don't have to be a professional. But I know for sure that singing improves your mood. And all of these things, if you put them together in a specific framework, I have a feeling and a theory that I plan to prove in the near future that they can definitely improve your productivity, your mood, and especially and most important, your creative thinking. I know this one is extremely useful when you want to solve all of those problems that can appear in your business. And creative thinking also leads to improved storytelling abilities. And that one is an extremely useful skill to have in your business, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can definitely see some connections now here that you're making, maybe in some sense. But it's still like a little bit all over the place. So I really want to make sure that we kind of nail this down here and make sure it makes sense to people how they connect, especially. Okay, so first of all, you said you have a theory and a feeling about this, and you're looking to move forward, right? So this you're not just talking here from kind of like your personal experience. Oh, I sang this one time in the shower and then my business succeeded, but you're actually looking to make this scientific, right?
Exactly. It's actually a conclusion that I've started to come towards after working with people. This was not my objective. Music and creative activities were just some tools that I used when working with my clients. And after a while, I've started to see how the way they were handling their business and unexpected situations, especially when it comes to showing up in front of your audience, because this is what I teach and this is what I do in my business, they managed to find solutions and creative approaches to those situations much easier. And when it comes to your oral recall, your musical ear, let's say, I've noticed that that one had improved as well, even if that was not an objective. Because we started to work on the voice. I know how important that one is to grow up your confidence when you speak. But then I realized, hold on, their hearing has improved as well. And this also confirms my theory, which is also already proven by a lot of other scientists, that 100% tone deaf people are extremely rare. All of the other ones just do not have this ability of training their musical ear. And this is something that I have been able to test for myself when working with people. There were people that in the beginning they were only able to sing, let's say, a major third, which is about 5 sounds. And after 6 to 8 sessions and working with those exercises daily, they were able to sing 1 octave and a half, almost two, which is 20 to 25 sounds. And it's absolutely huge for someone that doesn't do music as a professional. And how does this help in business? You will probably think, well, first of all, it improves their voice. So it's much easier to speak and it improves their confidence. And I've noticed that it also improves the way they perceive sounds around them when people speak. And it's easier for them to control their own voice. And they start to notice those subtle differences in the way we speak. Usually, when we are confident when speaking, we use this medium to low range. That means that our nervous system has calmed down and that we're okay with what we're doing. When the nervous system goes into fight or flight response, we only perceive extremely high pitches and low pitches. That's why some people start to use this high pitch when they're nervous, because their brain goes into fight or flight response and it doesn't perceive any other pitches. This ability to actually perceive them much easier, it also helps us to control our emotions. If they start to take over, we are able to notice that and see, hold on, my voice is going into that high pitched tone again. Let me lower it down. Now I'm able to hear that my voice doesn't sound good, which obviously improves the way you show up in your business. And it's much easier to position yourself as an authority if you are able to control the way you speak, your voice, your tone of voice. And this kind of puts up together about 50% of your confidence as a speaker. This is what I would say. But about that theory that you mentioned, so this is just an idea that I currently have. Since I'm also in my third year of music studies, I thought, why wouldn't I use my experience as an entrepreneur in a research paper? This is my degree paper. Because everything that I have been doing so far was just experimentation and working with clients, but now I really want to put it together in a framework to see what are the tools that I'm going to use and what are the measurable results. Because right now they haven't been measurable because I didn't take my time to do that. Since it wasn't my objective. My objective was to help my clients get results. But right now, I'm working on building up that framework to see what tools do I use, how do they impact a set of skills, let's say, needed in someone's business. And I want to measure that in time and see how it helps people. Maybe my theory does not confirm. I don't know. But unless you try, you won't be able to know, right?
Yeah. I gotta say though, I see a lot of potential in especially that way digging in. And that's why I find it so interesting too, and why I wanted to connect with you. Because when you talk about, our emotional operating system, so to speak, which is at the end of the day, it's just our nervous system, our neurons and everything, they go through our entire body. We have our brain and our head, right? But then through the spinal cord into everything, the reason I can move my hands right now and the reason I speak right now, it's all from my nervous system. And that's the same reason I can hear you, right? So all these processes that are at a totally subconscious level, I mean, they make me who I am, right? Whatever is going on in my body, however I am, who I am, that's all tied to that. And now if we talk about the voice, right? So I think about the physical foundation of me as a human being. Well, when it comes to speaking and expressing ideas and, negotiating, public speaking, whatever it might be in business, the voice is a foundation, right? And I think there's a lot of evidence out there as well that, people who are perceived to have more authority, for example, or more expertise or be a better leader, that they speak with a more deeper, more commanding voice, right? Like, I think I don't know, I might be making this up, so I have no references, but I remember hearing that presidential candidates or political candidates who have lower voices have higher likelihood of actually being elected or something, right? And that ties back around to what you said earlier, the whole fight or flight response. And the funny thing is, I'm a little bit into content creation and like YouTube videos and stuff like that. And a lot of YouTube videos, especially in the earlier days, or advertisements too, right? The voices are often in a higher pitched state, right? And when I make the intro to this podcast, I'm not coming on, hey, welcome to the podcast. I'm like, hey, welcome to the podcast. My voice goes up. I'm like really excited and everything, right? So with that emotional expression of your voice, you can convey different messages. So I definitely see how the connection is there to at least marketing in business and everything. but then also, the emotional framework that somebody needs to be an entrepreneur. And that's actually, to me, that's mind blowing right now, how they connect, how it's like, I mean, yeah, we say music, but really music theory and voice training and all of that and how it connects. So it makes a lot of sense to me. I wonder if anybody watching this, go ahead and leave a comment if you're seeing the connection now as well. Man, it's deep. That's deep.
It is. And I know how much you love solving problems. And I know all of these arts, let's say, and artistic and creative processes put together help you develop that creative thinking that I was talking about. And it's much easier to solve problems because I knew my past clients, for example, they used to panic whenever they were asked to do an improvised speech, for example, and they didn't know what to say, what to do. But there are so many creative approaches to just one problem. And with exercise and through these practices of creative thinking and music and working on your voice, so I do believe in the power of putting together various forms of creative activities and arts, let's say, and it has been much easier for them afterwards. And one person that suffered from severe stage fright was able to improvise an awesome speech after just a few sessions of working together. So I know how impactful this can be if you are open to it, because it does involve exploring your emotions a little bit and understanding who you are, listening to your mind and body and soul connection to be able to bring it up to the surface and express who you are. Because very often we suppress that one. We may hear something in our head and we want to say it, but we stop because we feel that we might be judged, that we might say something stupid. And I see Jacques wrote over there, I feel the voice has the power to express the depths of soul without thought attached. Oh yeah, I like the way that one sounds. That is awesome.
Unfortunately, my comments are still loading, so I can't even see them. But thanks for
Oh
checking
well,
in there.
it's a good thing I can see them.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly these things, though. Talk about science again now, right? Because when we talk about music, we think art, and art is, in today's world, it's kind of separated, right? We either get a degree in the arts or we get a degree in the sciences. So they're kind of separate. Yet, I mean, it's all one universe, so it all kind of connects together still. And some, universal problems that I find fascinating is kind of that free will versus determinism, and which came first? Are things discovered or invented? And how does it all work with us being able to be creative and change the shape and the course of the universe? And that's where that ties into for me as well, right? Your mere exposure to music and different stimuli that might be creative, might be music, might be singing, might be different training. I mean, that shapes you as well, right? We're these dynamic organisms, and as we put ourselves into those circumstances that shape us and change us, then we can in turn also shape and change the universe again, which is a really big thought, but it does at the end of the day tie back around to business. I mean, look at what the biggest businesses and entrepreneurs are doing right now. Number one, they're connecting us. The reason that you and I can speak right now is because of physics. And then also we see like 3 billionaires right now trying to get to space and stuff. So it is all, we live in a physical world, in a physical universe. So tell me more about the study. What's the approach moving forward? What do you need? What are the next steps and everything? What's going on there?
I need about 10 entrepreneurs that are willing to work with me and give me feedback on all of the framework that I'm currently working on. So I plan to start the actual work around February next year, so I can spend my time until then to actually develop a really scientific and explicit framework and write everything down that I need so I can get the results that I need. Not necessarily the results that I need, but I want clear results. So those are the results that I need, clear results. And I plan to go into this study with an extremely open mind. So I won't think about any conclusion at all. It's just, let's see what happens. So I plan to work with these people for about 6 weeks, as I've mentioned, and do a combination of voice training and training your ears at the same time. I also plan to use this specific type of singing, combining singing with affirmations and specific frequencies that are sure to improve certain abilities. I know some of them can be extremely empowering. They can help you take up some action. I also want to incorporate specific activities throughout the day. So it's going to be quite some work to do, not a long time, because I know people are extremely busy, but it could be up to half an hour a day. And after that is going to be a few follow-up calls to see, and I want people to be extremely honest with me and tell me, this worked for me, this didn't work, I feel this helped me a lot, I feel this one didn't help me so much. So right now the framework is a little bit cloudy in my head because I recently got the idea, and that's why I'm working on making it extremely clear to see what are all of those things that I need to put on the list. What are the things that music could improve: productivity, confidence, the ability to speak up, the ability to stay more disciplined, the ability to focus better. So all of these things, I do want to measure them in time and see how they impact and how they help business success in terms of all of these things that I've already mentioned: productivity and better focus and the courage to take more action, the confidence to speak.
Interesting. So it almost sounds like it's going to be, yeah, a trial, right? A study,
Yeah,
a trial where you just take people through a program, and then the results are kind of uncertain and unexpected. Who knows what we'll find? But that's what science is, right? So to
exactly.
discover the unknown, to be at the frontier. Well, that sounds real interesting. So what would be some of the next steps for, someone who might want to be participating in that? Or where are you at in the process? Are you seeking collaborators? How does it work?
If anyone is interested to know more about this, and if they want to get on the list so I can reach out to them when I'm done with the framework, they can DM me, they can send me a message, and I can stay in connection with them in the near future. So I do plan to start with almost everyone at the same time, or split them up into 5 and 5. It depends on how my schedule is going to be and how their schedule is going to be as well. So I do want to make sure that I give them everything that they need throughout the sessions. They can reach out to me, we can stay connected, and I'm going to give them all of the details when the framework is done towards the end of this year.
Awesome. That sounds great. Sounds really like a cool thing to participate in, not only to advance science, but also, possibly advance yourself personally and your business, which, I mean, and that's the thing about science and business. In science, we're hoping to falsify the status quo, right? We're hoping to find out, oh, this is not actually how it works. Yay, we have more science to do because we have more questions to answer. But in business, we go the opposite. We're like, hey, this is what you're going to buy from me, and this is the results that you're going to get. So they're kind of opposite, yet they also collaborate, similar to how art and science relate. That's
Yeah,
really cool.
but I think it's a win-win. So you get to help me with my degree paper, and I get to help you. At least they're going to be fun. So I have a hunch that the results are going to be promising. So they will help you in time, but at least the sessions are going to be fun. If no other result, it is going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. That sounds so great. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Ziza, and we'll hopefully find a couple of volunteers to reach out to you who are going to participate in this, and maybe also help you refine that framework, right? Because to be scientific, it needs to have like a really rigorous approach and everything, and fulfill all these measures and do all the science right. So let's get that done, and let's find out how music can make you a better entrepreneur or business owner, or develop you as a person.
Yes. Thank you so much, Oliver.
Awesome. We'll talk soon. Take care.